Florida tonight, parts of the East Coast all watching this closely too. Ginger Z with the new track. The new and alarming images just in tonight. The suspect taking off in reverse in a police SUV, later crashing into two other vehicles at 97 miles per hour. One of the vehicles with 7 children inside, 2 dead, 1 in critical condition. Tonight, the new images, actress Lori Loughlin and her husband in court facing charges in that nationwide cheating scandal. The major new clues as to how they'll defend themselves. The outrage in New York City, more than a dozen accusers of Jeffrey Epstein speaking out. And tonight, the one accuser now demanding answers from Prince Andrew. New tonight, the major opioid maker in talks to reportedly pay major sums of money. And tonight here, the deposition tapes. You will hear from Dr. Richard Sackler, the former president of Purdue Pharma, why he says it's wrong to blame their marketing. The historic church in the Northeast engulfed in flames today, the daycare inside. The man accused of putting a camera in an airplane bathroom recording passengers. Well, what's happened now tonight? The terrifying rock fall at a national park, the rocks giving way, the people hit underneath. And America's strong tonight. We hope the line starts forming for ice cream as soon as you see this.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night, and we begin tonight with the state of emergency already in Puerto Rico. Tropical storm Dorian gaining strength at this hour, and Florida watching this path very closely too. The track shows Dorian with winds up to 50 miles per hour, nearing hurricane strength as it makes landfall in Puerto Rico tomorrow. Dorian hitting Martinique today, streets there flooded by heavy rains already. Hurricane hunters flying into the storm for a closer look tonight. Dorian posing the first serious tropical threat to Puerto Rico since Maria 2 years ago. Tonight, concerns about the power grid there and the preparations in Florida too. The path, the strength still uncertain, but taking no chances. We have the new track, and ABC's Victor Oquendo is in Puerto Rico leading us off.
Tonight, final preparations are underway in Puerto Rico. Officials warning residents Dorian is heading straight toward the island. Hurricane Maria fresh in the minds of the millions of American citizens who live here. The strong Category 4 storm made landfall nearly 2 years ago, packing 155-mile-per-hour winds, killing nearly 3,000 people. The storm knocking out power to much of the island for months.
And no matter how strong Dorian is, the power grid, it's at risk here.
It is. It's fragile, and everyone knows that.
Flying over the island today, we could still see blue tarps covering many roofs.
We're in southern Puerto Rico, right in Dorian's path. We're told there are 26,000 homes just like this one with the blue tarp acting as a roof.
We were invited inside one of those homes.
And if you come this way, you'll see what it looks like now. Take a look there. When it rains, what does it look like?
They coming a lot of water.
A lot of water comes in.
A lot of water came here.
FEMA saying they're much better prepared than 2017, stocking 5 warehouses around the island like this one we saw in 2018 with vital supplies at the ready. In Florida, after record-breaking rainfall this summer, officials now testing water pumps and emptying canals. Residents across the state are sandbagging, bracing for a possible hit Labor Day weekend.
Thinking about everyone in Puerto Rico tonight and the path afterward. Victor Oquendo live in Puerto Rico. And Victor, we know officials are very concerned not only about the power grid, which you reported on there, but the potential for major flash flooding here.
That's right, David, and we're feeling one of Dorian's outer bands as we speak. Up to 8 inches of rain and life-threatening flash flooding possible, along with tropical storm force winds and some very rough surf. David?
All right, Victor Oquendo leading us off. Victor, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z with the newest track late today. Ginger, good evening.
David, good evening. 24 hours from now, we will be talking about a potential landfall on Puerto Rico from Dorian. So I'll take you right to that track. 4 to 8 inches of rain is the main threat. Of course, gusts up to 65 miles per hour. But let's get closer in because Dorian could actually be ripped apart a bit by that high terrain of Puerto Rico. Remember, that is not a flat island. So it'll take a little while to re-strengthen once it hits that warmer water north of Puerto Rico. Now, watch that red line to red line, the whole cone that includes parts of the Bahamas, and eventually by Sunday, anywhere between Melbourne and Jacksonville in that center line right now, but Savannah to Miami on the lookout. Dry air, it has been fighting through that. Also some wind shear, but that's going to become more favorable and actually better for development of a tropical storm. That high pressure system should help veer it right into us by the holiday weekend. End of the holiday weekend, David.
All right, Ginger, thank you. Let's hope that terrain in Puerto Rico helps shear the storm, as you point out. Thank you, Ginger. Next tonight, new images coming in this evening from authorities after that horrible scene unfolding in in Dayton, Ohio. A high-speed police chase ending in the deaths of 2 young children. A stabbing suspect sealing a police SUV, speeding in reverse down the street, and later crashing into several vehicles, including a van with 7 children inside. 2 dead and 1 in critical condition. Here's ABC's Diane Macedo tonight.
Tonight, alarming new video of a stabbing suspect leading police on a chase in one of their own vehicles. Police say they were responding to reports of a crash when suspect Raymond Walters Jr. jumped into the officer's cruiser. The suspect was tased but was still able to speed off backwards. The new dashcam video shows him apparently hitting a parked car, smashing into the front of the pursuing officer's car, then racing away. Police say he hit over 100 miles per hour before slamming a car with 3 people inside, then colliding with a minivan carrying 7 children, 6 from the same family.
We're going to need at least 2 men. We got 2 children in the vehicle.
2 children died. A third remains in critical condition. The children were leaving the library after returning a book.
At the rate of speed he was traveling, the inevitability of a crash is almost guaranteed.
Police say officers were not pursuing the suspect at the time of impact. They're now investigating if drug use was involved and say the incident started when the suspect stabbed his father and stole and crashed his truck after learning he was being taken to a mental health facility. David, the suspect has not yet been charged. Police say Walters was on active parole for a robbery and was released from prison earlier this month. David?
Diane Macedo tonight, thank you. New developments this evening in the college admissions cheating scandal. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband appearing in Boston federal court today, telling the judge they want to stand trial together, and the major new clue tonight, how they might defend themselves. ABC's Eva Pilgrim in Boston.
Lori Loughlin and her husband presenting a united front, walking into a Boston federal courthouse today with their heads down, unlike past appearances when the actress smiled for the cameras. They have pleaded not guilty to conspiracy charges, accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their 2 daughters accepted to USC as recruits for the crew team.
Do you guys have any comment?
Today, their lawyers saying the couple didn't write checks to individuals, instead giving money directly to the university, its athletic department, as well as a charity once run by Rick Singer, the alleged mastermind of the admissions scheme. A source close to the family telling People magazine that Loughlin honestly didn't think that what she was doing was any different than donating money for a library or athletic field.
David, there's a lot on the line here. Loughlin and Giannulli are each facing 40 years behind bars if convicted on these charges. David?
Eva Pilgrim reporting from Boston, thank you. Now to the outrage here in New York City tonight. A powerful moment in federal court. More than a dozen accusers of Jeffrey Epstein speaking out. Virginia Giuffre among the women who went in front of the cameras today, escalating her fight, and she is now demanding answers from Prince Andrew. Here's ABC's Chief National Affairs Correspondent Tom Yamas tonight.
Today, nearly 24 of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers packing a Manhattan courtroom. Their message clear. He may be dead, but their quest for justice is still alive.
It was both empowering and infuriating to know that the person who I needed to hear those words is not here to hear them.
Shantae Davies described in chilling detail being raped by Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in the Caribbean.
It makes me sick to my stomach that there's perpetrators out there that obviously helped him in many ways.
But in court, prosecutors vowing to pursue any co-conspirators. One name brought up by multiple accusers, British socialite and Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who has denied all wrongdoing.
We need to get to the bottom of everybody who was involved with that, starting with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Virginia Roberts Giuffre says Maxwell recruited her to be a teenage sex slave to Epstein. She has also claimed Epstein ordered her to have sex with some of his powerful friends, including Prince Andrew, something the prince has denied. Over the weekend, Prince Andrew releasing a statement admitting his friendship with Epstein, but saying in part, "At no stage during the limited time I spent with him did I see, witness, or suspect any behavior of the sort that subsequently led to his arrest and conviction." Outside of court, Giuffre firing back.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
David, inside of that courtroom, prosecutors made it clear their investigation is far from over. But the big question tonight, what happens if investigators want to speak with Prince Andrew? Well, now there are multiple reports saying that Prince Andrew will cooperate with investigators. David?
Tom Llamas with us again tonight. Thank you, Tom. And we have new reporting this evening on America's opioid crisis. The major drug maker, Purdue Pharma, in talks to potentially settle more than 2,000 lawsuits. And for the first time, we're now hearing from the former head of Purdue Pharma on why he says you can't blame their marketing. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
Purdue Pharma is facing more than 2,000 lawsuits related to opioid deaths and addictions. And tonight there's word the drug maker is offering to pay large settlements. In a statement, the company explains that while Purdue Pharma is prepared to defend itself vigorously in the opioid litigation, it sees little good coming from years of wasteful litigation and appeals.
Do you believe Purdue's marketing was overly aggressive?
No. For the first time, we're hearing sworn testimony from former chairman and president Dr. Richard Sackler. Members of his family own the company, which made billions developing and selling OxyContin. According to the government, it's one of the most common painkillers involved in prescription opioid deaths in America.
Do you know whether OxyContin is more powerful or less powerful a drug than morphine?
Depends what you mean by powerful. If powerful means potency, absolutely. It is twice as potent as morphine.
The clips were released by the investigative news group ProPublica. They come from a lawsuit filed by the state of Kentucky in 2007.
Purdue fought very hard, and the Sackler family fought very hard to keep this deposition secret.
Under oath, Sackler said it was wrong to blame the opioid crisis on their marketing. But the company ended up settling, paying more than $20 million.
There is no way that this intended or had the effect of causing physicians to overlook the fact that it was twice as potent. It was called out in virtually every promotional piece of literature.
Seeing those tapes for the first time, Steve joining us live tonight. And Steve, Purdue appearing to signal they are possibly willing to settle here. Of course, they're facing thousands of lawsuits across the country.
That's right, David. The company says in its statement that it's working towards a constructive global resolution, and to that end, that they're working with top state officials and plaintiffs across several states. David?
Steve Osunsami with us as well. Thanks, Steve. Now to the new headline involving President Trump's Attorney General William Barr tonight. ABC News now confirming that AG Barr has booked the president's hotel in Washington for his own family holiday party, reportedly spending tens of thousands at the president's hotel. The Justice Department facing questions, and ABC's Kira Phillips at the White House.
Over the past 24 hours, President Trump emphatic. He's not trying to cash in on the presidency.
I don't want to make money. I don't care about making money.
But tonight, new questions. The Washington Post reporting Attorney General Bill Barr is spending upwards of $30,000 to throw his holiday party at the president's Washington, D.C. hotel. He says he's paying for the 200-person bash out of his own pocket. The Justice Department telling ABC News it was all cleared by, quote, career ethics officials. Since it opened, the Trump International Hotel and other Trump properties have been under scrutiny from ethics watchdogs. And the president hasn't been shy about promoting his businesses. Yesterday, announcing plans to host the next G7 meeting at his Miami Golf Resort.
With Doral, we have a series of magnificent buildings. We call them bungalows. They each hold from 50 to 70 very luxurious rooms with magnificent views. We have incredible conference rooms, incredible restaurants. It's like such a natural.
The president says his team scouted out a dozen other options before deciding his own hotel was the best one.
All right, Kira Phillips live at the White House tonight. Aside from the AG, Kira, the president also in the news tonight, the legal battle to get his tax returns. We know congressional Democrats subpoenaed 2 banks who have loaned the president money. And today, a federal judge gave banks until today to reveal whether they have the president's tax returns. Deutsche Bank acknowledging they have returns related to the subpoena. But, Kira, they won't say whether they're the president's actual tax returns?
That's exactly right, David. A lawyer for Deutsche Bank says that they will not disclose their client's name in open court. That name is redacted right now in official court documents. So the question now is, will a judge actually force them to reveal it? The president's own lawyers have been fighting this all the way, David.
All right, Kira Phillips with us. Thank you, Kira. Next tonight, the battle to save the Amazon rainforest, known as the lungs of the world. Nearly 2 million acres destroyed so far, as we've been reporting all week here. Tonight, Brazil's President Bolsonaro lobbying insults at French President Emmanuel Macron.